The setup I have here is an N9912A with the cable between the two test ports. This is a still image, but this is a control of that instrument. Just wanted to show the setup. I'm in spectrum analyzer mode. I go into measure, source, and I turn it on. And I change the attenuation to 0 dB. And if I do marker to peak, I see around minus 17 dBm, which is what you were seeing. The frequency doesn't really make a difference. I can go to 858 meg, and it's the same value. Marker to peak. Well, that's the LO feed through. Where is the peak? Measure, source, oh, 858 meg, and marker to peak. Minus 17. Now let's look what happens if I go into cat mode. Just change modes temporarily. And then I will come back to spectrum analyzer mode after going to cat mode. And I don't do anything. I just change modes. Then I come back to SA. Now you will see this value, once the sweep is completed, it will be a lot higher, 5 dBm. And let's just turn on some attenuation so we don't overload the receivers. So that's the expected value. And what it is happening is when you boot up in SA mode, the source is not getting initialized property. So this is a firmware bug, nothing wrong with the hardware. So you can see it, I can see the same issue in my box. And I can replicate this if I have a default mode of startup mode of SA. So maybe that's what you have. Another way you could have this happening is if you have a system, a user preset you've loaded and you start up with the user preset, again, it doesn't initialize it. If I go ahead and change my preference to default, and then reboot this instrument, so I will go ahead and reboot it right now, and this will take a few minutes. Because this is an analyzer that has the older CPU, the newer CPU instruments are a lot faster. Then you will see that the power from the very beginning will be correct. So it's really, if you're starting in SA mode or you have a user preset, you have some way that you're not starting in cat mode or in A mode, then it's not properly setting the power level at the beginning. So just switch in, and from then on, using the box, you should be fine. But if you reboot, it's the same story. So my recommendation is that you boot up in, you always boot up in cable antenna test mode and then switch to SA mode. But we'll wait for this to boot up, and then you will see that the power will be correct from the very beginning. So this booted in cat mode. Now I will go ahead and switch to spectrum analyzer mode. And the first time it switches, it always takes longer than the previous next times because it's loading the application. Usually after that, the mode switches are faster. Now I say measure source on, and to be consistent, let's make this 0 dB. You can already see it's the higher value of the power, you know, sorry, mode to peak. You can see the 4 dBm. So it's already the higher value. So because we started in cat mode. That's it.